Greetings, everyone. Welcome to IGN Arena. This is a atypical episode, not episode 21, not episode whatever we're on now. This is a special cast, the 2014 Dota 2 Year in Review. Joining me to discuss Dota's, first real coming out party year. You know, it launched in 2013, but 2014 was the year it really started to become something new and different. Joining me is James Faulkner.
I'm very full.
Welcome back from lunch, James. Miranda.
Hi.
How are you feeling?
Also full and sleepy.
Excellent. Brian, I hope you're willing to talk to me about Dota instead of ramen.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ramen cast.
Yeah, no, let's not do that.
It was very salty.
A lot of stuff happened in Dota this year.
Yeah,
There's minimal corn.
Oh boy, ramen cast. Ramen year in review. Lava Lounge was pretty good. So Dota 2 in 2014 sort of began with the end of Wraith Knight. Legion Commanders, joining of Dota 2, Wraith King kind of taking over for Skeleton King. To me, that didn't really set like a new standard for 2014. Like Dota still kind of felt like Dota, but something shifted this year, and I want to know, like, for you guys, what was the point in Dota where it became like what it is now, which is a very different game. Brian,
I got it. Yeah. TI4. At TI4, we saw a huge reliance on the death ball early push meta. Just group up as soon as you can with a good lineup and barrel down and take their towers and cut off their map control. That was not every game was like that. We had a few super long ones, but the team that won, Newbie, did that a lot. It just steamrolled people. It's not how you normally see Dota played. And after that, we saw Valve course correct way too far.
Yeah, I mean that 6.82 was that meta shift, but I mean
that was my change where I felt like I got interested. Like I was interested when we first started playing, kind of dropped off right before TI4 to like kind of till 6.82, and then I've been back in ever since.
Miranda, you started playing Dota 2 this year.
Yeah, I had played once last year, just a little bit, but it was in spring when I got really into Dota.
Got it.
When I've invested a lot of my time.
I think that's when I came back. I mean, I started playing in 2013, took a fairly extensive break, left for Rust.
Yep.
I missed the new Bloom event. I missed kind of Phoenix and Terrorblade's introduction this year, but came back around the same time you started playing. And I think it was at that point where, leading into the International 4, I think the Dota hype train really, really left the station.
Yep, that's when I felt like I was starting to understand Dota.
Me too. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why it was, that particular time. Like, maybe it was just being around so many people that were interested in Dota and so many people that had sudden thoughts about the meta because, hey, tournament play is coming up. Let's talk about who's going to do what.
Right? I don't know. I was just going to talk about how the meta kept changing, but it seemed like we were veering off into a new course.
No. Continue.
It's just sort of
Take
strange
us on
because
a journey, Brian.
The meta.
So after TI4, that Valve super corrected. Where now, like, if you're way behind and you get a kill, you can get like 2,000 to 3,000 gold or something stupid. It happened in the middle of a more minor tournament, and then they're like, okay, maybe let's tone that down a little bit. But still, even now, we're still seeing kind of like the fallout of that, and like correcting to kind of go steady and go in one direction. We saw Teamfight was buffed. There was more of an emphasis on going late. Super hard carries were now more viable.
Spectre, Anti-Mage getting a lot of play. Morphling coming into play a little bit more. Void becoming like essential in every game.
Void got popular a little before TI4, and just
he hasn't fallen out.
I hate that because I liked him before he was popular, and now he's getting nerfed.
Such a Dota hipster.
I mean, I think he'll never fall out of popularity, kind of like Tide, because his CC, his ult is too good.
Some characters' ults are too good to ever not use. But yeah, now we're seeing. Team fights are buffed. Games can go, like, if a game goes under 40 minutes, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, that's
these days.
irregular now.
Yeah, that someone's getting wrecked or someone has like a super great strategy for fast push.
That's the way Dota was earlier, though, right? Like when it launched in 2013, a lot of the games were very long and they were sort of team fight oriented.
Right, and you saw that. I mean, not just in pubs, and I wasn't playing at the time, but at the first international TI1 and TI2. The sort of dubbed as Chinese style of Dota was dominant. It's the 4 protect 1, like get one person as big as possible and draw the game out until you have everything you need and then end. And
is that viable anymore? Like with 683 that just launched this week as we record this, like is 4 protect 1 still viable?
I don't think it's quite what it used to be. And again, I wish I'd been involved at the time and it looked more. But like I've kind of like gone back and watched big matches from the time. But it was literally 4 protect 1 and they would kind of stay in the jungle, and then around 60 minutes, if they had all of their buybacks farmed and the other team's buybacks were expended, and then they would go in the game. It was like you have to get as close as you can to victory before actually like putting the last nail in.
Wow.
I don't think I see that anymore.
In pro,
No.
I mean, we kind of do it with a friend of the show, Xantus.
Yeah.
Because he'll play the hyper carry, and then we'll just be like, oh, everyone protect Xantus while he farms for 40 minutes,
Yes.
and then he buys 2 rapiers, and then we end the game.
It's really interesting because now you're trying to like anti-mage is the AFK farmer. You know, there's the joke, the finished farming, where he comes out of the jungle and he's slotted.
And he's super buff.
But now you're looking at hard carries and trying to find ways to make them contribute earlier too. So like there's this new, we're getting really into the weeds on this, but there's this new build for Spectre people are using where she gets an urn, and then she kind of goes like ganking with other people, and like fills up her urn and just constantly gets more health back, and the urn refills her mana because it has mana regen.
Right. So I hate it when people like you play Spectre because you're in a babysitting.
When
It's
you people.
you people.
Yeah, what's that mean?
It's constant babysitting.
Babies is
You
what
just,
she's
it
saying.
just- yeah,
Babies.
you are a baby. Like you contribute almost nothing
Yeah.
early game, and it's the worst.
But
It's
then
like,
later I will wreck everyone.
yeah, if we get there.
I'll get there. It's fine. I'm gonna get there eventually.
Yeah.
Just let me get my radiance.
So seeing this new kind of shift with like builds and stuff, that's amazing because you can contribute more. That's better than just kind of farming. All right, and then how much fun is that for you in the beginning?
It's not fun,
That's
and I'm just
it.
yelling at
It's
you
a
guys.
Yep.
Yeah. Guys, please protect. I just
Come
need. I just
get
need
Guys, I
in
can't,
lane.
I can't be
room.
alone. I
I
can't
need-
be alone.
Help.
I need you in lane. Most recently, 6.83 came out, and we saw some buffs to early ganking heroes and other mids.
Especially
and so I think
Techie's got a huge buff. Like that's the roaming ganking hero, and now is like kind of viable.
yeah, he's in captain's mode now, so we'll see. I just think that's interesting because recently it's been, protect this carry, and the carry will win the game for you. Now, the people who can fight the carries the best, the early, are stronger. And so it's going to perhaps make games go longer if the carry doesn't get farmed as fast and keeps dying. Or maybe they'll just end the game quicker because all these gankers are super powerful now.
I'll be super curious, like a year from now, listening to 2015 year in review after TI5, like how these conversations are different comparatively. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting next few months with this new meta because it's like Dota of 2014 is not going to be Dota of 2015. Dota of the last 2 months is barely the Dota of 2014.
Yeah, I was just about to say, do you think that they'll stay with this type of meta where they just want to emphasize team fights?
I think they're trying it on. I think they're going to see how it works in the same way that we saw them leaning more toward towers and more toward like, let's get people focusing on objectives. This is an objective-based game. Have people focus on it. Now it's like, well, what if we didn't do that? How does that work?
It feels like they've moved from that big tower push, and now the game has become more about movement, about being very responsive, about always having TPs and
Yep.
being able to
Oh my God.
respond. And then obviously if you have ganks, you got to be a lot
Every
more
time
mobile.
Arthur doesn't have a TP, I die inside. Every time.
The thing I'm a little not worried about, but is we're starting to lose playstyles. Like we don't see Rat Dota anymore. We don't see the.
Hallelujah.
Yay! Yeah, it's like
I don't care. Good riddance.
Yeah, but like
kind of-
you do and you don't. But you don't have the hard Rat Dota that we saw with from coming out of like TI3.
I mean,
Yeah.
right. Like, Nature's Prophet was like early pick and ban material all the time. But now that's like the person who goes there and does stuff and then leaves. Like that Rad Dota is taken over by like Naga Siren, who just sends in illusions every 30 seconds.
Same with Terrorblade.
and Terrorblade.
And that's become less viable.
Right,
in the
and
next
PL used to be able to do that, but he got totally reworked, and it just doesn't work anymore. His illusions last like 8 seconds now.
He's less of a tower killing machine and more of a man killing machine now. Like he is way better at ganks. He's way better at diving heroes and getting those kills. Which again, like everything comes down to getting kills, getting gold, getting XP, and not really focusing towers.
Right, as you were saying. Oh, what's up?
Yeah, I'm sad that some things become less valuable. I would like. I know you can never really do this, but I would like a Dota where it's everything works. And then I know that
Right, where like the death ball is as viable as the team fight.
Yeah.
Rat.
and
style.
you're able to counter one with the other, like the rock paper scissors of Rat versus this versus that. And I know it doesn't really work because you have to respond, and
Yeah.
that's not the way
It's
MOBAs
just-
work. I would like there to be a variation on. It's all right. We're doing team fights. Okay, well, but what if there's no way to differentiate yourself in your play style anymore?
It really gets into how Dota is balanced, and it's balanced for pros and not for people like us. Because it's farming forever is the easiest way to win Dota in for us.
Yep.
If we want to coordinate an early push, like Death Ball will work if we want it to. And mainly if all pick is weird. If we draft correctly and ban correctly, Death Ball can work. But it's hard to do because if you fail, then your strategy is gone and your late game isn't there. And then what do you do, right? Like, we're just not good enough and coordinated enough to make it work.
Yeah.
It's so much easier for me to sit in the jungle and just hit things that are standing still.
Sure, like it's weird that you can still make weird things work. So we had a team, all 5 run mid. We were freaking out because they had a perfect build for it. Destroyed all our towers super fast, and we still ended up winning the game. Like, they were almost on par with us. We had a little bit more in levels. They had 2 of our racks down, and we managed to win still.
I wonder if it's viable. I don't know. We should try this, but try that strategy. Take all 5 mid, and just as fast as possible, knock down the first tower, and then just scatter back to our lanes. Like, you lose so much in doing that, but I wonder if there's an advantage in having that objective down. Like, the mid would then rotate and be completely starved.
Your mid would then be in danger because
Yeah.
you would be farming
So
closer
far up.
into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tier 2. But
Sure.
anyway.
Yeah, so if you're gonna I feel like if you're gonna do that super push, you have to go to each. You have to
You gotta
Right, you
commit.
got to commit
each
to it.
objective. Yeah.
5 mid, 5 top, 5 bottom. Just
Yep.
alternate.
Let's talk about a few other things that happened this year, other
Okay.
than the meta. Although
yeah.
I will talk about that forever.
Yes.
We saw some new heroes.
Yeah.
Phoenix and Terrorblade came out together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Many months later,
Right.
we had.
Well, can we just talk about them for a second? So Terrorblade we've seen a lot, and he wasn't in captain's mode, so we didn't see him in pros until very recently, and then very quickly got nerfed.
Yeah, he's
Good
dumb.
reason.
He melts towers with his illusions. He can swap your health with someone else.
What a stupid.
And
ability.
then you take on them.
Ugh.
That's
that
really
was-
cheesy, but
That was my favorite
Yeah.
thing to come out of it. I don't think Phoenix was all ever really did.
Phoenix doesn't get much play.
No.
I don't know if I've ever seen a pro game.
That's
of
kind of the
Phoenix.
running theme with the 4 heroes that released this year. Like, Phoenix and Terrorblade came out. Months later, we had Techies at TI4, and then most recently we had Oracle.
Mhm.
None of these heroes are getting significant enough play for me to feel like any of them are having any kind of effect.
Besides
on the meta.
Terrorblade.
Yeah, Terrorblade is fairly prominent,
Yeah.
but Phoenix, Oracle, Techies, like, you don't really see them. Like, when they pop up, it's interesting. Like, oh, they chose that. That's really fascinating. I wonder what they're going to do. Like, you never see Phoenix. You never see Techies, except when somebody picks them and everyone gets mad. Oracle is insanely good. He's a really, really, really good hero. Mid, support, whatever you're going to do. But I feel like he's not something people are latching onto, and I don't know why.
He hasn't really been out that long, though.
That's true.
I mean,
just a few
he
weeks.
needs more time, I think, for people to work him into
They're
their
figuring him out.
rotations and.
And it was
stuff.
also the event, which I think it was again not an event
Yeah.
about Oracle. It's an event about
Phantom Assassin.
Phantom Assassin.
So with these 4 heroes in mind, when these 4 came out this year, who is your hero of the year? Whatever that means to you. Like, your favorite to play, your favorite to fight with, to watch, favorite pro, like, whatever. Like, who is the hero of the year for you?
Techies.
Really?
I'm about to say the same thing because there was so much hype for them. Like, everyone was just like, Techies.
There was a
Techies,
lot of
Techies."
excitement. Yeah.
So I like heroes who cannot. There's no analogy for another hero. Like, the way you play Meepo, no one plays like me. Like, no one is Meepo. It's
Yeah.
a Meepo.
Yeah.
And the other 4 Meepos. Like, Techies is its own game, and kind of gets crapped on a lot. It's like, oh, you just lay down in mines and get kills. And it's like, well, yeah, but you can also counter everything Techies does.
Yeah,
with,
you drop a sentry
with
and
one
he's
sentry ward,
useless.
and that's why you're probably not going to see them in pros because, again, at our level, supports are poor. Like,
Oh, yeah.
we're
Yeah, you and I
we're
are
decent at
broke every
farming.
game we're into.
Pros find farm. Like, every person on a pro team will find farm somewhere, and so they can afford to keep buying sentries and dust and wards and whatever. And so, like, Techies are super obsolete, but for us, that doesn't happen, and we're complaining. And Arthur's like, I'm almost to Egg Scepter. I can't buy the freaking sentry wards. Like, it's
Arthur just getting dumped on.
Poor
Love you,
get out
Arthur.
of here, Arthur. No,
He's not listening to this.
I like that Techies do their own thing, are so easy to counter, and yet are just somehow hated the most.
I subscribe. That's not my choice because that was a really eloquent and awesome answer to that question. I like that. James?
Correct.
Is it of the 4 new?
No, the 109.
Oh, I thought we were doing the 4
Oh,
new.
me too.
No, man.
Yeah, 4 new.
I don't care. You
Oh.
can pick all. You
I'll
can
just
pick
stay
one
with
of these
Techies.
That's still really good.
Yeah.
Like, I think Techies, like, overall, of all the heroes in Dota, like, you make a good point that this was like Techie's time to shine, and they made an impact, even though you don't see them a lot. Like they are meaningful to the game in a major way.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to choose between two, but I'm gonna pick the one I've been playing a little bit more recently. So not Tony, but Tidehunter.
Tidehunter,
who I think is probably we talked about this last week.
On IGN Arena episode 20.
That Tide is like the penultimate offlaner. Like he is the offlaner.
He's real good
because he has the most utility. Like it's just his ultimate and everything. He's kind of tanky, but like, all right, you just like with this meta, you got to set the team fight, and he sets up the team.
Disabled all of that.
Yeah, like he goes in with it. We saw at Beyond the Summit the Void or Ravage into Void Chrono.
Yeah, you can just take your pick on who you want to Chrono after a Ravage.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like he's just fun to play, and like I think he's the hero that I would recommend new people to play now, just because. Like you got to do one thing. You got to blink, and you got to
you blink and you hit R and you win.
Yeah.
He's
maybe.
I really like him in the offlane. One thing I want to see more of from us in 2015. We're looking at our Dota resolutions.
Team goals.
Resolutions.
We're going to do this live.
We
Captain's
usually
going to give us some real talk.
We treat the offlane like a place for someone else to get some farmer experience.
Yep. Like you go do that. It's going to
go
take
do
care
your
of itself.
thing. Tidehunter, just get your levels, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We never treat the offlane as a place to deny their carry experience.
Good point.
Like if I'm Spectre and they run up with like Skywrath and Axe,
You're done.
I'm done. Unless I have a tri lane with like you guys on like really harassy supports, like I'm done. And we never do that.
Yeah, which is funny because I only play harassy supports because I'm too afraid to play somebody like Ogre.
Yeah.
Like I have to play Lina or Lich or Warlock, somebody who's like very far away.
Thank you for saying Ogre
shots.
because I wanted to comment on what you said about not all playstyles being viable. We don't really see supports anymore that are super good early and don't scale.
Yeah.
Most supports we see scale, like Ogre, a lot of Omni.
Jakiro.
Yep, his Liquid Fire. Like
this was really like the year of the support, I think. Like
supports got a lot this year.
We saw supports change and grow. Like you played Jakiro before I really even knew Jakiro was a hero because you loved him.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. Ice Path is super valuable.
Yeah,
if you can land him, and if you're really strategic about him, then it's super good.
Especially with a combo like the Yule's combo into Ice Path, into Macropyre, into all like his stuff stacks so nicely on top of each other. And then especially if you can, that guy's Ravaged, we'll hit him with an Ice Path, and he's not going anywhere. Now the Chrono is down. He's just viable in every strat. He can knock down towers really rapidly. He's good in a team fight. He's slow.
Yeah, and you can kind of.
But he's good.
Build them up in different ways. So if you want more of the push, or if you want more of like this, like super support, just helping out to set things up.
Yeah,
it's kind of that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say like we've lost like Witch Doctor's still been okay, but like Shadow Shaman we just don't see anymore.
Yeah, no, he after 6.82 he got kind of erased from the meta almost. I haven't seen him in a long time.
I
certainly haven't played.
That's interesting. He's still good. It's just
of course
taking towers isn't as important as it used to be.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if he'll be more useful now in 6.83 now that tower push and objectives are less emphasized. Like with everyone focusing on team fights and Illusion's not super capable of knocking down towers, will that come back into play in a major way? Let's find out. I want to play some Shaman. I got a new Shaman set. He's covered in crows. It's great.
Yeah, it's so weird because you used to want to force the enemy to defend when their 5 versus 5 was inferior to yours.
Yeah.
And now you can just you get towers after you win a team fight.
Yep.
And you don't really need Shaman for that.
No.
Because you just run up and start hitting now it's 5 or whatever.
I think if there's going to be more of an emphasis on knocking down towers as a group because your illusions or whatever aren't as effective and you need to get kills to get stronger, you're going to push towers more aggressively. You're going to force the team to respond. Mm-hmm. That team might throw snakes on your bottom tower while you're attacking their top tower in response. And then that will pull you back. Like, I don't know. Maybe...
I haven't even played any 6.83 yet. I need to see.
I want to play some Dota, you guys.
Me too.
Only several like small things this year, like spring cleaning update. There was like rekindling soul update.
Lots and lots of balances.
But as far as like actual different events that were in the game, I believe there were only 2, and that's New Bloom, which included the Year Beast event,
which I missed entirely.
Yep,
and the Manifold Paradox. Event.
Which was worse?
Paradox.
I'm gonna go with New Bloom.
Really?
And I liked the idea. I liked the premise. It's just, it was a competitive event.
I hope you like it because it's coming back.
It was like, here's this big beast thing, and you all go in and you do as much damage to it as you can, and like whichever teams did the most damage get like the top 1% got a fancy courier, the top 10% got this other courier.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and
I have those couriers. Somebody gave
that's
them to me.
cool because it rewards the people who are most dedicated and who are most into like min-maxing, like who does the most damage with which items.
Yeah.
Like I love that.
But we talked about this on the podcast during that time that people broke it. Like
That's
they
where
found
I'm
a way
going
to
with
cheat.
this.
Really?
They found a way to cheat
Because the like stuff just doesn't work sometimes when you put it out
Yeah.
right away, and you need a little time to fix it. Like whatever. But this is such a limited event that there was no time, and so people found a glitch. I think it was with Visage's familiars, his birds. He would like somehow lure the beast into a corner, and it couldn't attack, and it would just get stuck there. and then you would all just hit it. And then at that point, it simply became a math game of if I have X time, which character is going to do the most damage.
Well,
with
now
which
it's
items.
like, okay, well, somebody play Sven, buy a Mask of Madness, and get an eggs.
Yeah, because if you play the real way, like that thing is strong, and you're like, okay, you need someone who can get its attention. Like you need someone who's going to like heal. You got all these different things to think about, and it sort of became just a math problem. And although I want to see more stuff like that, just like man, putting that limited time on it makes it you have to have it ready for prime time. We've talked pretty much at length at Manifold Paradox.
Yeah. I mean, Manifold Paradox, I mean, just to change it to a more recent trend, I mean, Manifold Paradox saw... It kind of cemented the idea that $35 Arcanas are not going away. Those things are here to stay. That is going to become a critical thing in the Valve marketplace. I guarantee next year when that Void remodel comes out, you'll see a $35 Faceless Void Arcana. When Wyvern launches, you will see a $35 Arcana. Maybe more, like... There's no reason for Valve not to say, like, well, this one's worth $50. What happens? How does the community respond?
There is no there's no uniformity about when they're coming out or what the Arcanas do. Like, okay, why did Terrorblade get one and not Phoenix? I don't know. No reason. Like, but I feel like eventually, like, every hero is going to have one.
Like,
Except Jakiro.
Yeah, but what about Jakiro?
Nobody. There's literally a treasure right now called the Treasure of the Frosted Flame, and there's no Jakiro set.
Oh, that's so good.
That's a missed opportunity.
What is the point?
Jeez.
For some reason, I just thought of Frosted Flames.
No.
Like the stupid Frosted
Yeah,
Flakes.
no, I'm
Why did
down.
that go in my head?
More than good.
Tony could be singing it.
Oh, man.
All right. Okay, so Manifold Paradox, again, kind of like rewarding the people who spend the most money, spend the most time in the game.
Yeah.
That's me.
Brian.
I like that. But I know why a lot of people won't and why it's excluding people for not spending money.
The thing is, too, like, you look at the Arcanas right now, and it's all carries. I don't think you'll see, at least not for a while, like, a Witch Doctor Arcana.
I would love a support Arcana.
I would love that.
Yeah.
But it'll be like a Morphling Arcana. Well, Morphling is kind of a support. Whatever.
Hold on now.
All in good time. But when am I going to see a Lena Arcana? Get out of here.
Wait, there's a Lena Arcana.
That was like the first one, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of trash, though.
She's like fire hair, and she's like full of-
She looks really
It's my
good.
least favorite.
bad.
Well, no, the Techies one is the worst.
It's the least remarkable one, though. Like, the Techies one at least has different animations, different, like, a noticeably different outfit, new, like, character icons. Like, it's got stuff in it. The Lena one I thought was, like, kind of basic.
Yeah, like what?
It was a
Wisp?
different
What
set.
do you
It was
got- what do you
labeled
got for Wisp?
Arcana. Yeah.
Twins colors.
Another big thing that happened this year: free to play.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, I liked it.
I've seen that movie multiple times. I show that to people who don't really know Dota, and they still get something out of it.
Yeah,
You and I saw that at the premiere.
we did. It was great.
It was. I still think, I like you said, it's the best intro to Dota for anyone, and is it introduced me to Fear. I didn't know who Fear was before that.
Yeah.
Yep, me too. I
Like-
learned tons of names that I didn't know before, and I was really interested in them. So
I think that was at least my introduction to be like, oh, pro players as people. Like,
Yeah.
this is something to say, but like, yeah, these are people and their emotions, and I started to care about pro play because of that. Not because like didn't like the competition before, but just to understand like,
This is
I'm
human.
into teams now.
Yeah.
Yep, that was kind of opening the door for me, and like it's so great to, like, if I go back and watch the play,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
that great play, like I know who Dendy is.
Yeah.
Like I know his personality, and like so when he stands up and like starts screaming during the play, I'm just like, yeah, like I know like Ice is like this goofy guy, and he's like really great, but like amazing on interviews, but a total troll. Like
Yeah.
I care about those people now, and
Yeah.
that was sort of the entryway to it. So I hope there's not gonna be like free to play too, I don't think, but like I just like that exists and kind of sets this like really great.
Yeah,
like,
I
high
hope it's
production
not the
precedent.
last one. Like, there's Dota stories to tell, and those players all have really fascinating stories, and to not do that on a more regular basis is kind of a shame and a waste.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, I think that covers all of the major topics. Dota 2, 2014, really good year. I love the map change. I love the new meta, even though it's weird. It makes games like probably too long. I love watching this game change and being part of that and seeing just the things that get added to it and taken away and the way people respond professionally and publicly.
I'm also more excited to have this conversation a year from now.
Yes.
Because this year was still me learning. I mean, you never stop learning.
Sure.
But I feel like I've kind of started to plateau off a little bit. Not that I won't get better, but the amount that I was learning this year is now sort of starting to taper off a little bit. And so
you just need to talk more with Mark and Jay.
Right, exactly. So
smarter dudes.
As I was just figuring the game out for myself, I was witnessing these changes. I feel like going into 2015, we're going to kind of have more of a solid. We got this foundation. We know with a little more history. Now let's see what happens.
Exciting times.
More Dota. Let's play Dota.
Parting thoughts, anybody?
Let's go play Dota.
Okay.
That's dope.
Subscribe to IGN Arena, youtube.com/IGN Arena. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Definitely check out all the esports stuff we're covering on IGN. Lots and lots more coming in the new year. Lots of plans there. Brian is on Twitter at @albinoalbert. I am at Mitchie D. James is at James_Faulkner. Mm-hmm. Miranda is at Havoc Rose. Until next year. We out.
Again.